Well, I'd like to talk about a recent poem called Eclipse and then read it. And I wish I could remember exactly what started me on this poem. I think perhaps I'd heard something about a lunar eclipse, or I was looking at the photographs that we had taken when we went to the big solar eclipse. And it's interesting that I can't remember because this is a poem about memory, among other things, and about forgetting. And when I began the poem, I had no idea at all where it was going to go. And so for me, it was very satisfying to write to see where I was going to end up. So now I'll read it. Eclipse. Right after the eclipse, we all were crazy to see another one, planning Boston in 7 years, Iceland in 9, hanging on to that moment when the sun had disappeared, leaving us stranded in the universe with no control over our bodies, which were pulled by the sight like puppets, made to yell and point and cry. But then we forgot it, went ahead in our small, predictable circles. Though for years I had remembered an opioid no longer in use that I tasted for 10 minutes when my first child was born, had craved it and felt disappointed when my second came too fast for any drug at all, had remembered that dreamy joy after I'd erased everything else about how labor felt, how I thought, oh yes, this, as it started up again, and how it disappeared, eclipsed by the baby himself. So little remains in my memory of all those sleepless nights, the heavy days that followed, just pale scraps and slivers. And when I sometimes try to hear again the voices of the people that I've lost, the longer that they're gone, the more I fail, hearing instead their words in my own voice, although I still retain the way I felt hearing their voices then, like a vibration continuing after the bell is stifled. The obscure mathematics of adding and subtracting pain and pleasure leave me wondering what I'll recall from any time of grief or time of joy. Looking now at the pictures we all took of shimmering crescents underneath the trees, the leaves transformed into a row of pinholes that threw the alien sun down at our feet, the most unearthly thing we'd ever seen until we raised our faces to the sky.